Give me a moment. We are So once again, welcome you back. So I'm so excited to see you today. And in fact, yesterday we had a long session, and I'm sure like you would have had been late for a dinner. And Sundays are the days when you have loads of work, but still you're here. So I really appreciate that. And today we are here with a purpose, and the purpose is definitely to understand how we can make the best use of these softwares, impact lives. At the same time, we can really make money and can have a regular dependable income so that we can run not only our household but even the luxuries that we generally imagine for ourselves. At least we can take that, right? So here is it today, and like today I would be sharing a very practical approach and very realistic thing which we have been doing in a like the past business partners, they have been implementing the same and they have been doing the same. So ideas that this is the journey I would be sharing with you. How is that when I talk about a model, and that is what when I say ki, like it's a model which is a workable model, it's a proven model, which means any point of time anybody walks on that proven model is bound to be successful and can achieve those figures that we will be talking about it, right? So the idea is that with a very open mind, if you attend this session and understand like how the things are gonna be, what are the steps forward, and then I think you would definitely enjoy this session and you would get an idea. I mean, it's not difficult to make money out of this industry. In fact, this is one of the industry which gives you money if at all you are well prepared and you're right onto the path. So with this, let's get started, right? So yesterday, in fact, we have discussed about certain things. So we'll have a quick recap. In the meantime, there will be a lot of other people who may be joining in. So let's have a quick recap on the same. Mm, give me a minute. Just allow me to share the screen, please. All right. So I think, yeah, by the time the rest of the people will join in. So thank you so much to be here. I think Ramakrishna, you are not able to hear. Everybody else is able to hear me, right? If you're able to hear me, just type audible. The first hygiene, audible, right? So Bina says audible, so which means I'm audible to everybody, right? All right. Thank you so much. So maybe Mr. Ramakrishna, you may have to. Are you able to hear me, Mr. Ramakrishna? If you're not able to hear me, you have to check your system or you may log in again. All right. Give me a moment. All right. Okay. So let's get started now. Okay. So so we are here with the business mastery, and today the very first thing that we're going to be talking about is about career coaching and DMIT. That's what exactly we are here for. How to learn how to earn 2 lakh rupees per month profit. And then today I'm going to be giving a special offer to those select lucky very people like who really want to make this the business out of this whole scenario. Okay, so let's get started. The very first thing yesterday that we discussed was primarily, it's kind of a recap that we are doing. Yesterday we talked about technical session, and we talked about the 5-step process of career coaching. So 5-step process. So anybody would like to tell me what were the 5-step process? What were those 5 steps that we talked about it? The very first one I can tell you is the interest. Now, what are the other 4 things? If quickly you can write it down. or it would be really great. Just quickly write it down. What were the 5 steps? First was the interest. What was the second one? You can just write down all the 5 steps. So Beena says interest, aptitude, personality. These are 3. What are the other 2? You are absolutely correct, Beena. These are the 3. What are the other 2? Interest, aptitude, personality, demand, and income. That's very nice. Yeah, Beena. Yeah, bang on. So these are the 5 steps that we had it. So now let's talk about the lobes. We talked about the 4 parts of the lobe, but we practically said we had we have 5 lobes. What are the names of the 5 lobes, right? I mean, if you can just quickly tell me what were the names of these 5 lobes, uh, right on to the chat window. What are the names of these 5 lobes? The first one was, write it down. I'm waiting. Yes, Bina says frontal, parietal, prefrontal, occipital, temporal. Very good. Lovely. All right. So that is it. So we talked about the prefrontal. Prefrontal is a thinking brain. Then we talked about frontal, which is an action brain. We talk about parietal, which is a which controls the body movement. And we talked about temporal, which is related to auditory processing of the information. And we talk about the occipital, which process the visual aspects of us, right? So these are the 5 lobes that we talked about it, correct? Now let's talk about the McKinsey theory. Let's talk about the McKinsey theory, right? Sorry, multiple intelligence. So multiple intelligence was the most important thing that we said, and like we have 8 multiple intelligence. Practically, we have 9 multiple intelligence. The ninth one is called essential, which is related to spiritualism. But then that's not coming to, when it comes to the child development, that's not being considered for that matter. So we mainly live with the 8. And 8 multiple intelligences. If quickly you can write down what were the 8 multiple intelligences that were there. So quickly, if you can write down what are they? I'm waiting for the responses. The first one was intrapersonal, right? Intrapersonal intelligence, correct? Yeah. Then second one was interpersonal. Very true. Third one was logical. Fourth one was visual. Fifth one was mathematical, right? Then you had language, then you had musical, then you had kinesthetic, then you had naturalist, right? And you had visual. So I think these are 8 multiple intelligences that we have it. And I think we had fairly discussed yesterday. So I don't think that we need to actually revisit that, right? We talked about the McKinsey theory where we compartmentalize into 3, 3 parts. It's organizing that into 3 parts, classifying into 3 different domains, right? Then we talk about the Rias theory. Rias theory was related to the personality, and R stood for what? R stood for realistic. I stood for, if you just can give me the, like RIASEC, what do they stand for? So quickly, if you can just write down into the chat window, I would be waiting for the answers again. R stands for realistic. I stands for okay. Are you not able to hear me? The question. The question is all right. Okay. So I haven't yet got the responses from everybody, right? So I've been still waiting for the responses. And definitely, we talked. Give me a moment, please. Yeah. So I talked about it. Rias. What does Rias stands for? Rias is about the personality type, right? Yesterday we discussed about it. So R stands for realistic. We have been realistic. The people who love to do the job from their own hand. Correct. I stood for I stood for what? Investigative. The people who are very investigative, right? And these people would like to actually they are perfectionists, they would like to actually crack the numbers They would like to audit. They are a little stubborn. They would like to be perfectionist type, So that kind of a thing. A stood for artistic. There is a personality of artistic. The people who are very artistic, they are very creative sides are very, the creative part of the brain is very, very strong. S stands for social, that we talked about it, right? And social, like where we intend to actually like create a social impact into the lives of the people. The people who are very, very they're very good with the other people. They make the friends very fast and they get into the comfort zone very fast with the other people. They can actually like deal with any age group for that matter. Enterprising, the people who are leaders, the people who would like to lead, and they are business owners, and they are the people who are head of specific departments and all the stuff. So generally the people who are very enterprising, who takes initiatives a lot, right? And sees the conventional, related to data and stuff like that, organizing and stuff like that, right? So these are six different type of personalities that we may have it. That's what exactly we talked about it. Then we talked about how on the basis of the MI, the career suggestion can be made. Then further, we talked about the stream selection. What is the process of stream selection through a psychometric test? And then we also talked about brain dominance, quotients, like, and a lot of other aspects, right? So this was what exactly we did yesterday. And today, in fact, we are going to be continuing from here itself, right? So I'm sure 90% of the people would be the ones who have attended the session yesterday. So they would be able to make meaning out of it. But even for the people who may not have, for any reason, who missed out the session, though I shared the recording, but yeah, still, I think, there's some element of it, you would understand it quite well. So having said that, like we talked about the solution yesterday, and the solution was coming from two things. That was, one is the DMIT and second is called the psychometric, correct? DMIT is called a dermatographic multiple intelligence test, and we talked about the science of DMIT yesterday. And DMIT has got 4 different type of reports for that matter. Now, these reports are the very first one report it generates. Now, these are the softwares that I'm talking about. These software which are basically being branded to your own brand. You design the first page and you create the first page and your logo, your number. Mindpriest is not coming into the picture in terms of when the branding happens. So it's completely and wholesomely it's your this thing. You can put that software into unlimited systems and you can actually like use it for unlimited reports for a lifetime without having any kind of a renewals or any kind of a per report system payment or nothing like that, right? So at the same time, simultaneously, I'm trying to tell you what is there in store for you. So lifetime report generates 68 or 69 page report for that matter, and it will be in 69 page. It will actually help you to understand about your own multiple intelligence, RIAS theory, career selection, preferred learning style, brain dominance, are you a left or a right brainer? Quotients like IQ, EQ, emotional quotient, creative quotient, and adversity quotient, personality type, primary and secondary personality, thought process, whether you're an executor or a thinker, leadership style, acquiring method, and much more. So all that stuff is going to be there in the report, and on the basis of the report, like you will be trained to understand the report, and then you will be counseling the people, right? So that's one part of it. Now, second type of report that is there is like, something which personally I love a lot is called the compatibility report. Compatibility report suits those people like who are getting married for that matter, and the people who want to get into the business partnership for that matter. Anybody who would like to have the proper distribution of the roles and responsibilities, that's where the compatibility reports plays a role. And I would be showing you that report. So in that particular report, what happened is two people, like if it's, let's say if it's a husband and a wife, so both the people's fingerprints are being taken. And in this particular report, the report will be a combined report of both the people. And it will help you to understand that on various personality aspects, on various multiple intelligence aspects, on the basis of the aptitude, it will actually help you to understand who is stronger and what is the percentage of strength that the person is, and whichever aspect. For example, in logical, if husband is strong or a wife is strong, or whosoever is stronger in that particular aspect, I think the veto power should lie with that particular thing. So this report will help you to understand on kinesthetic ability, like who's stronger, on intrapersonal who is stronger, on interpersonal. So all the aspects it will compare for A and B, that is husband and wife, or it could be two partners who are getting into a business. They want to decide the role that find, this partner is good in logical ability. So basically be taking a decision related to logical. This partner is great in language, so he should be a spokesperson or the front face, a camera, the front face for the camera, front face for the social media, like should be this person. So everybody's got different persona and different this thing. So ultimately, this particular report, compatibility report, will help you to understand how compatible are you to each other, be it the business, be it the marriage, be it the otherwise the relationship, whatever it is. And in my past, like the kind of things that we have done it, like the kind of an experiments, the kind of a interventions that we have done it, I tell you, this has played such a major role, where people could realize their personality difference and they accepted it. It's not, it won't change anything for that matter. Whatever your personality remains, it remains. Whatever the other person's personality remain, it remains. The only thing is, the first thing that happens, the acceptability comes in. Number two, when it is scientific in nature, so what happens is, like husband and wife, if they have an argument, no, why should you be deciding about it? Why can't I decide about it? So it will give a clear-cut picture that, yeah, you have these strengths and you have these strengths. So please, when it comes to final power or final decision making, it should be this person on these areas and this person in this area. And that is what exactly we are talking about it, right? So I think, yeah, I mean, this is something that I'm talking about it, right? So it plays a very important role. So this is the relationship counseling can be done by this. This third report called HR report, that is primarily for the HR people, generally not being very much used, honestly. Basic report is something which is there, a 10-pager report, and this is primarily a marketing tool. It's a promotion tool. For example, if you go to a school and in school there are 2,000 students, and you speak to the principal and say, okay, fine, I'll be doing a, like I will be doing a this thing, for example, I'll be doing a DMIT for all the 2,000 students, absolutely complimentary. And you take an entry over there and just take a fingerprints of these people in different slots. And ultimately, what will happen is you capture the fingerprints and just like quickly, do the things that generate 10. This will generate 10-pager report. And then because the parents' number is there and the school has given you the permission that you can actually speak to the parents and can tell them about this report. So ultimately, like you would be actually giving them the report and at the same time telling them this very basic report. This might just give you a idea that what it can do for your child, but the real report is for 68 pages. And if you go for the lifetime report, it will come along with the counseling. And this is not even with the counseling. And that's wherein generally we charge 5,000 rupees, that we'll be charging 4,000 rupees from you. And we will be doing a counseling. So out of 10 people, one might get converted, to be very frank. So if you have 2,000 students, I mean, so you can imagine the number of people that you get it and charging 4,000. So that's the way the business happens. So this can be used anywhere, but yeah, it is a marketing tool is what I'm trying to tell you. It is just a 10-pager basic report, right? Now, having said that, so these are, when we talk about a DMIT software, DMIT software will generate about 4 different types of report. First is definitely, as I told you, the lifetime report, the human resource, the basic and compatibility report, right? These are the things basically, but mostly what you will be using it, the most you'll be using it is the lifetime report, I think, and with few people you'll be using it is the DMIT report. So these are 2 reports which are really important, correct? All right. Now, having said that, now let's talk about design and brand your own front pages. So ultimately, if you get into this business, obviously, I mean, I generally believe in the fact that you should always create your own brand. The franchise system is practically gone, actually, right? It is only into the food industry and the other industry where it's applicable, the franchise system remains. Rest everywhere it has abolished, and it's not even required for that matter, because once you've gained the knowledge, there's not much a franchisor can add into your kitty. And ultimately what will happen is he'll continue to keep on taking some margin and money from it. That doesn't make sense, actually. So idea is that you learn, I mean, it's like a transfer of a technology, transfer of a knowledge, and at the end of it, understanding how the marketing works, how do you become profitable. I think now today, the scenario is that, it's like a package that you should get it, and you should be able to have it your own brand, right? So you built up, you invest the money and time into you building your own brand, rather than like shadowing under some other brand and actually like developing that. So this is exactly what we truly believe in. Okay. Yeah, I'll take up the question and answers, Ramakrishna. Yeah, but yeah, when you really talk about it, but I'll still answer that. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about security reasons, ki वैसे maybe the fingerprints are being taken and all this stuff. Honestly, I personally have done so many, and so many people have done it. This is good thought actually, but the people who trust, they trust. The people who don't trust, they don't trust. The people who don't trust, they won't even take a DMIP from you. People who trust, I mean, fingerprints, they will give it because they understand the purpose is very different, right? So today, I mean, fingerprints are being used at so many places, and you always give a disclaimer that once the report is generated, like you always give that this thing in the form that you send it across. That fine, it is basically being deleted, all the fingerprints, and it's not being used for any other purpose. So I think people do trust, and I think I've not seen the complete industry operates on that, so nothing to worry about that. Okay. Now, having said that, so let's have the glimpse. I think that's very important for you to have a idea about like glimpses of the DMIT report, and that's exactly I will be doing it. So allow me a moment. It might take. My sincere apologies. I think I was in hold. Sorry. All right. So let's I think let's start. Let's understand that now. We are talking about how the training is going to be happening. Okay. Now this is the training dashboard. So the couple of people who have already downloaded the app. So once you get into it, you get the immediate on the payment. You get the immediate access to this training concept, training material. So now Mindtree's app, you can approach it from you can basically access the complete training from either a mobile, or you can approach the complete training from the this thing also, like the laptop also. So the very first thing, which is called the get started, primarily is going to navigate you to understand that how the things are going to happen. Second is like there's a sample report, there's a sample report that is there, like, that will help you to understand that, you have to design the front pages. So how the front pages should be looking like and all the stuff. So it's primarily that. And then third, overview and five-step process of career counseling. Then it is about the brain anatomy. Right now, what you have learned is just a very basic so this is a detailed one. Multiple intelligence theory, action plan for multiple intelligence, about the McKenzie theory, RIAS theory, career suggestion, counseling processes. These are all the videos which are there. And through video, the training is going to happen. Counseling process document. What is the counseling process and what is the document? This is the live counseling done by me. How to generate psychometric test report. This is about the goal setting. Then this is about the document of DMIT. If you want to put something onto your website or landing pages, is the material that's required for you. Their references and all the stuff. Introduction and overview of DMIT. Fingerprint pattern. Fingerprint patterns again, like, this is the PDF for that, and which you can download. ATD angle, like, PDF. TFRC, that's called total finger ridge count. So I'm just trying to help you to understand personality types, identify personality. This is completely a training thing. Live counseling by me, DMIT counseling again, acquiring methods, how to take a fingerprint online. You can even take a fingerprint online for the people, how to take a fingerprint offline, then through a biometric scanner for that matter. Ridge counting software is there. I mean, how do you count the ridges? Report generation, the process of generating report. Then this is related to sales, goal setting and guided mind programming. To be successful in this field, what you require is you have to have a guided mind programming has to be done. Setting up an Instamozo payment gateway, right? Process of creating Facebook lead generation. And fourth, and so setting up the Instamojo payment gateway is basically primarily if you want to collect the payment. So there are two gateways which are very popular. One is Instamojo, and second one is called the Razorpay. If you go international, then PayPal is the one, right? So how do you set up that on this? Then next thing is called the process of creating Facebook lead generation. And so that is how do you generate the lead? The biggest thing that comes to everybody's mind is, how do I generate leads? How do I get the target audience who are really interested? So I am talking about that. Okay, then next thing is called the sales module. So ultimately, how we can have the, like, sales. This is five-step process of sales. Sales is just not like, we talk and that will happen. We talk about a product, it will happen. It's a process. It's a five-step process. You need to have a right introduction. You need to be probing the requirement of the customer. You need to be recommending the right product to the people, the right solution. You need to actually be handling the objection, and then you need to be closing. And these are the five steps that I'm talking about, which has been described at how to do that. Okay. And then coming to telesales script, because even when you have to call somebody, when the inquiries are generated through Facebook, and you have to call somebody and tell them, fine, this is what DMI to, this is what needs to be spoken. What are the kind of an FAQs that you can get it? What is the answer needed to be given for that? Now, this is something which is extremely important. So I'm talking about that, right? So I think these are the aspects that I will be, these are the aspects that will be trained on. And there's something, if you can see on the chart, top of it, there's a chat window. So within the community, all the people who are related to that, who are basically a part of it, can actually communicate with each other also. It's a community which is getting built up also. And at the same time, what will be happening is, like, you can chat with us also for any kind of a support that you want. You can connect with us onto the chat window. You can call us. You can actually, like, get us on Zoom or any this, as per depending on to the kind of a requirement that you have, right? Just give me a moment. I'm joining. Sorry for this thing. There were kittens who were there, my pets, So they were in my room. So I was getting a little disturbed. So I'm moving. Anyway, coming back. So let's talk about we were talking about the sample reports, and these are the sample reports. So first I'll tell you the sample report for the lifetime, right? This is the sample report for the lifetime. And this will help you to understand that how the report looks like. I've already talked about the details of each aspect, right? So now today I'm just trying to help you understand how the report looks like. So the front page, as I said, will be designed by you on canva.com. You'll send it us to on the any of the JPG or PNG file, and we will incorporate that. Then every here insert company name. So your name of the company would appear in all the pages. This is the index which talks about starting from certificate of authenticity, certificate of dermatographic analytics and comfort, and consultant, personal details of the person, franchisee. If you make a franchisee further on your own to your name, you can create unlimited affiliates or franchisee, whatever the numbers that you wanted, you can create it. Disclaimer from CEO's desk, what is dermatographic? Key references and researches to dermatographic. Some people are very keen to understand and they want to understand the references and they want to check the researches. They're free to do that, right? We have incorporated that into the report itself. Brain lobes and their influences, no brain, no fingerprints, as yesterday I was talking about it, all that stuff. So it is quite a long index list. If you really talk about it, is about 56 elements, right? I'll just make it a little bigger for you to understand. It's like, 45, 46, 56 elements, right? So just understand the report. It starts from the certificate of authenticity from the company in Singapore. Then it goes to the benefit of DMIT, like, that is what exactly it goes into. Personal details, name, then father's name, date of birth, whatever, XYZ, that comes in. This is franchise detail. If you have a franchise, it's for that. Then coming to disclaimer, like a disclaimer. So this is automatic, and here, like, insert your company name is going to appear here. That's from the letter from the CEO. Then what is dermatographic? It's all about that. Key references and researches that I've been talking about. Brain lobes and functions, as I was talking, prefrontal, frontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal. Those are the things that we are talking about it, right? And then we are talking about like no brain, no fingerprint, the Down syndrome. That's what exactly I talked about yesterday. About the inventor of DISC. Yesterday we talked about it, DISC, right? Dominant, investigative, influential, compliant, and steady. This is primary and secondary type of personality. So this is the same thing. Uh, this is the same thing that we are talking about. So it will talk about the primary personality, secondary personality, then SWOT analysis, whatever the type of your personality is there, it will do a SWOT analysis for the same. Then it will help you to understand the 8 multiple intelligences and sub-intelligences, 19 sub-intelligences, right? If you can really look at it here, like, it will talk about the percentage or further percentage को divide किया हुआ है, like, so that is something which will give you such a data, then total fingerprint rich count, then it is total talking about your total potential, overall potential. What is your learning curve? How fast you can learn curve? There's a certain people in the same class. There are so many students, and there's the same teacher, and they teaches, but somebody learns fast, somebody learns slow. That's the practical thing. So how fast a child can learn? It's all about that. It's about the left and right brainer. It's about then it is talking about the, like, let's say, intrapersonal skill. So intrapersonal में sub intelligence is planning, intuitive, judgment and execution, motivation and emotional behavior, right? All that stuff is going to be taught to you in the training. So right now I'm just trying to tell you the structure of the report. And broadly, I've talked about the multiple intelligence. The sub intelligence can be learned later if you really want to get into this business, right? So that comes that point of time. Then if it has talked about the intrapersonal skill, then it is also talking about remedies to improve upon the intrapersonal skill, right? So this is the remedies also. So as I said, it is not only about diagnosis, it is also about the prescription. Then coming to logical mathematical intelligence, right? So it is the graph about that. Then how do you, like, let's say reasoning, numerical ability, and complex visual and spatial. So logical mathematical ability is general thing, but logical mein, is that reasoning and logical debate? I mean, is that better? I mean, a person will be able to actually like give you better reasoning, or the mathematical aspect would be higher, or a person will be able to solve the geometry problems better. So this is something that is, again, all three aspects are logical. So you would not only know in general what is logical mathematical ability, but it will also tell you whether you are better in numbers or you are better in reasoning part of it or in geometry part of it, right? So that's exactly you are going to know about it. And then we come to the next thing called logical mathematical intelligence. Logical mathematical intelligence is like, again, the way I said. So it's for all the eight. Then it comes to linguistic, and linguistic, like suggestion, then naturalist, uska graph, then naturalist suggestion remedies is being given. Then interpersonal graph, and then remedies are being given. Then come to visual aspect. So you are getting a detailed knowledge about your child, and this is the base on the basis of which it is called the user manual, a customized user manual for your child. And basis which, on the basis of the remedies, you are going to apply that to the child's learning. See, the best part in this industry, this thing is like musical intelligence, right? So what is the musical intelligence? Voice, tone, pitch, modulation, process, perception, and all the stuff. Okay, so it is all about that. Again, musical intelligence. Then kinesthetic intelligence. Then we talked about, this particular thing. Then making sense. What are the senses which are five senses? Out of the five senses, which are the senses which are strong and which are the senses which are weak? So this will be talking about that. Then we look at it like object driven or concept driven. Some people are object driven, some people are concept driven. Hai. So some people are executors, some people are thinkers. So like, for example, let's take executor. These people are good at planning and execution. They can drive a team, get results out of them. They can motivate people and lead by their own example. They are driven by goal, target, and recognition. That is about the executor. But if a person is a thinker, these people are good at pre-launch of project, because वो think ज़्यादा करते हैं. They keep on thinking. They can analyze the situation and associated risk. They self rules, systems, processes. They set the rules, systems, and processes, compliance, and environment. They are driven by organization and its vision and value. So both the people are good at certain aspects. So there's nothing called right or wrong. It's all about, if you're an executive, there's a different task that you have it. If you're a thinker, there's a different task you have it. And accordingly, you can even choose to go into the profession for that matter. Then this is about the quotients. It gives you a graphical representation about your intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, creative quotient, and adversity quotient. It will talk about the learning style, which to my mind is one of the most important thing. Are you a visual, kinesthetic, or auditory learner? Right? It'll give you the report on that. It will talk about the visual learner. If you're a visual learner, then what are the characteristics of yours? And what are the study tips of visual learner? How should you study? If you're an auditory learner, what are the characteristics of your own? For example, it has written auditory learners learn best by listening. They like to read out loud. They are not afraid to speak in class. They like oral reports. They are good at explaining things, right? And like study skills for the auditory learner is use word association to remember facts and lines. Provide oral along with written instructions. Include whole group discussions. Watch audiovisual which complement the written test. Right. So it's like, this is the kind of a recommendation which is being given to the child. Kinesthetic learner, if you're a kinesthetic learner, what is the kind of a suggestions that's being given, the recommendation? Then it is about the ATD angle. I mean, that's one aspect, which you would learn better. If I talk now, you will get confused. My leadership style, task oriented and relationship oriented. Then it comes to about the Holland theory. It comes to about then it will talk about the McKinsey theory, right? And then finally McKenzie theory, उसके बारे में सारे aspects हैं. With my acquiring method, are you a self-cognitive, are you effective learner, are you reverse thinker, or are you reflective learner? Right? Self-cognitive learners are the ones who are independent, self-starter, target-centric, aggressive. Effective learners are basically like, they learn by watching the things. If this they can copy, they are basically a copycat. And reverse thinkers, like for example, I give you an example, a simple example. If I want to explain this, I'll say ki if at all you have to learn how to make a cup of tea. If I make a cup of tea in front of you, so the people who are a self-cognitive learner, right, they are the one who would like to do it themselves. Unless they do it themselves, unless they make a cup of tea by themselves, they'll not learn. Effective learner, however, they would have actually like seen me doing that and they would be able to imitate the same. They'll make a good tea. I mean, after once like they've seen me doing that. Reverse thinker will first make a coffee and then they'll make a tea. I mean, whatever you ask them to do, they'll first look at the other aspects as well. And the best part is they come up with the multiple solutions and they would be able to actually help you with, out of the box thinking. Reflective learners has to be really pushed a little hard, so these are the things which are there and which is very important for our parents to understand that what kind of a learnability their child has got it. Extracurricular activity, it will help you to understand that if on the summer camps or any extracurricular activity, if you have to actually like make the child exposed to, so whichever is the in this, let's say 12.66 percentage is 3, number 3 is singing. So the child is being exposed to the singing, a person will perform better than chess and dance and instrument and all the other activities. So this will help you to save money at the same time. What kind of a streams, science, commerce and maths, arts, like whichever the stream that you shall be selecting. Then finally, it is talking about so many 124 different professions. Medical profession, then medical profession may be how good a doctor can you be. If it is 1 or 2 or 3 star, you should not consider. If it's 4 star, you can consider. 5 star, it is great, right? For example, you talk about engineering. Now, person can be a good sound engineer. A person could be good computer engineer, but cannot be a good electronic engineer. Cannot be a good aviation engineering. So these aspects like that comes music. Now, music, man, there are a lot of stuff. Life sciences, then designing for that matter. And these are the things which are coming from 8 multiple intelligence, if you really look at it. Weather and environment science is coming from the naturalist, natural skills. Designing is coming from the visual, isn't it? If you really look at it, life sciences, biotechnology, again coming from naturalist and this thing, logical, mixed together. So music is coming from musical intelligence. So these are the careers based on that: banking and finance, mass media, literature, maths, and this thing. There are 124 careers which are basically a part of it. Psychology, foreign languages, sports, defense, all that stuff, it gives you. And then it gives you a graphical representation of all the career ahead, right? And the best part is on the last page, you have this particular report. Initially, you might, while you are going to counsel the people, you might have to go through the entire report because you are yourself new. So first you do the counseling to your own known people, your own sisters, brothers, kids, sisters, kids, your own kids, for that matter. You do the DMIT for yourself because you can generate unlimited reports. So better practice before you go into the market and get confident about it, right? And this initially you might have to read the report, but then later on, you will be just looking at this single page. This single page is a summary. The single page is a summary of all the things. It talks about the 8 intelligence, primary and secondary personality, left or right brainer, my learning style, visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learner, my leadership style, task oriented, relationship oriented, 5 senses, which touch, taste, smell, listen, see, which is stronger. Then it will be talking about brain dominance, my quotients, my preferred learning style. I mean, sorry, my preferred stream, science, commerce, or arts, humanities, then thought processes. So this is the complete report. Eventually what will happen is you don't have to look at the report at all. This last page is good enough for the counselors because by that you have had it by heart, you have understood, because it's only the aspects that you have to learn. everything is written, and this is where you recommend. And this is the sheet for the recommendation for that matter. So if you are doing it online on the Zoom platform, then recommendation sheet can be, you can write the notes and can actually send that later to the parents. But yeah, that is the way this whole complete report goes, right? So this is all about this particular report. Now coming to the sample report compatibility. Now this is again, I was talking about the relationship counseling, right? Again, the first page can be designed by you. There are two people's fingerprints can be taken. This is Mr. X and this is Miss G. Okay, and every aspect remains the same. Every aspect remains the same. Okay, there's nothing that's gonna change. Every aspect remains the same. The only thing is, in single report, you have the report of two people together, which will help you to do wonders. And this is what I think, Varun, you were also saying to quote an examples and all the stuff. So I think, let me explain you to understand that the purpose of this report is primarily to, like help you scientifically divide the role and responsibilities. For example, if we talk about this particular page, now this is talking about Mr. X की जो problem, जो personality है, वो primary and secondary दोनों dominant है, and Miss Z की है, यानी कि spouse है या fiancé है, जो भी है, partner जो है, partner बोलते हैं एक बार के लिए, तो उसकी पर्सनैलिटी जो है स्टेडी है और सेकेंडरी पर्सनैलिटी भी स्टेडी है, राइट? सो प्राइमरी पर्सनैलिटी एक की डोमिनेंट है, विच मीन्स ईगल पर्सनैलिटी है। ईगल पर्सनैलिटी वाले व्हाट डू दे डू? गोल ओरिएंटेड होते हैं, विजनरी होते हैं, बोल्ड होते हैं, डिटरमाइंड होते हैं, लीडर्स होते हैं। सो दीज पीपल आर वेरी एस्पिरेशनल, वेरी 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 ambitious for that matter. They want to lead, they are looking at success, they want success in every field, be it raising a child, be it in their career, be it planning their holiday. Everything they want is the perfect, the best in the industry. That is what these people are, dominant, right? And they generally are like little at times, they are though extrovert, but they are little adamant about stuff. So this is what it is. They're very straightforward. But if you talk about Miss G, जो उनकी जो personality है, that is steady. Steady कौन होता है? Dove होता है. People, relationship oriented, team player, cooperative, supportive, peaceful approach, believe in doing together, limited risk taker. So जो spouse है वो limited risk taker है. जो ये है, he is a risk taker. तो दोनों की अच्छी चलेगी. जो dominant है, eagle is a dominant, but because she is steady, then it will work pretty well. Had it been dominant and compliant, then they would have been a challenge, actually, right? So अगर influential है किसी के साथ, dominant और compliant के साथ, it works pretty well. Steady है dominant और compliant के साथ, it works pretty well, right? So they will be able to actually like go a long way because their personalities support each other. If one is aggressive, the other person is calmer. That's what exactly it means. Then it talks about the multiple intelligence, sub-intelligence. Now, this is the sub-intelligence and multiple intelligence. Now, this is talking about the brain part. For example, if ये हम बात कर रहे हैं, A is blue and B is pink, which is B is the lady and A is the man that we are talking about it, the men and the women that we talk about it, right? So intrapersonal, यानी कि self-organized, planning, they both are good. Right? Interpersonal, that is making a relationship with the other people, they again both are good. So ultimately, as and when they meet as a couple, they are very much wanted. People really love their presence, that is the way it is. When you talk in terms of logical, maybe like, there could be one person that's weaker, one person is average. Imagination mein, like, both the people are average. So imagination mein agar dono kharab hai, so what will happen if at all, visual aspects, they rather better keep a driver rather than driving a car themselves, because दोनों का जो imagination visualization है, 3D जो visualization है, वो बहुत strong नहीं है. It's just an example, right? So that is the way you are basically able to divide about it, right? And now when we talk about this particular thing, so ultimately you come to know who is good at what, and accordingly you are able to divide the responsibility on those very fronts. Okay. Now, brain dominance, whether you're left brain dominant or the right brain dominant, we'll talk about it. So like this is ultimately going to cover, and you have to explain the people. And I tell you, like, this is, as I was telling you earlier also, ki, like, this is something that as and when I did the counseling from that, there are many of an instances, the people who were not able to understand each other, they could understand. The couples who were not able to understand each other had started understanding each other better and started accepting. First thing is, like, once you understand the report, you start accepting yourself, your partner, you start accepting. You understand the reason why it's happening. Then second thing is the role and role distribution. If you're able to accept and able to decide the role, I think it really does the wonders. And I rather want more and more people to come and take up this relationship counseling, because it's a naive thing in India. Unfortunately, people don't go to the relationship counselor. People feel, but you don't sell it as a relationship counseling only. You can say ki fine, to scientifically divide the roles between each one of you, which will help you to have a better lifestyle and minimize, if at all, their arguments. I think this is the report, and let's get it done for each other. So, I mean, generally, and you don't have to hunt for a separate customers for that matter. So what happens is, if you have done the counseling for the child, and after, once the counseling is being done, you can pitch their parents at a subsidized price, because your marketing cost will be zero. So you can tell them that, fine, if you're happy with this report, I would like to do a report for you and your spouse and help you to, like, bring in certain very interesting facts. Would you like to go for it? Which report is about 5,000 rupees, but I would do it for you because you're already a customer. I'll do it for you for about 3,000 rupees. If you do that, there are at least 30% people who get ready. If you propose this to 10 people, 3 people will buy that product. So you have not invested further into marketing. It is to the same customers that you're actually giving that report, right? So this is what exactly we are talking about. Right. So this is what it is. So I mean, I think details we can always share later. It will take too much of time if I start sharing a details. But I can only tell you, yeah, this report is really, really beautiful. And then I'm talking about the third report, which is called the psychometric sample report. Now, this is the psychometric sample report. It's an 18-page report, very professional report, to the point, and it is to the point. Primarily, it is meant for like the people who want to decide about which stream to select and which career to select, right? I would also be talking about DMIT and psychometric later. What is the difference between the two of them? So let's talk now. So psychometric test report का ये है, ये भी front page आप design करेंगे. It will talk about the personal details, and then it will talk about the multiple intelligence. So these are the 8 multiple intelligence, and then apart from that, it is talking about the ranking, which is number 1, which is number 2, which is number 3, which is number 4. Over here, red one is dominant, and blue one is average. Less dominant is green one, and need attention is orange one, right? So that is the way. Like, it also talks about the percentage, like highest being 15.07 body kinesthetic, which means the person is very good in sports, stamina is very good. And second is musical intelligence, the person is also a good orator, right? So person can travel, at the same time person is a good orator, so you can get into training where travel is involved for that matter. And verbal is linguistic, so a person has got good command over the language also, and he's a good orator because musical is strong. Plus a person has got a stamina to deliver. Training requires a lot of stamina also, right? So I think that's an indication, like, these 3 aspects are very good. So accordingly, and you don't have to judge it, it is written onto the report. You don't have to really keep on applying the different permutation combination. Now here, like, if you really talk about Gardner's multiple intelligence theory, it'll talk, let's say if you were linguistic, word and languages. So intelligence का description दिया हुआ है, which means word and languages, written and spoken, retention, interpretation and explanation of ideas and information via language, understand relationship between communication and meaning. So this is just explaining what the intelligence means. That's the first column. Second column talks about preferred learning style. So this chap will be, this person will be actually like told I mean, words and language, the better words and better language will actually help the child to learn better if a child is linguistic. But if a child is logical in nature, numbers and logics will convince him, right? For example, a child who's a linguistic, and if I have to confirm that, fine, I mean, there's an ample of opportunity. When I say there's an ample of opportunity in that particular, in the AI industry, if you really get into AI today, 5 years from him, you're going to have an ample of opportunity. And this guy is sold out to it. But logical guy, I'll have to tell him how many number of job vacancies will be available, how many numbers. So he will always understand the numbers, where the linguistic guy can actually understand the emotions. So that's the kind of a difference in learning style that they have it, right? Typical roles and responsibilities, preference. So you can become, if you have a linguistic, you can become a writer, lawyer, journalist, speaker, trainer, copywriter, English teacher, poet, editor, linguistic, all that stuff. And then if you want to improve upon it, how you can improve upon it, write a set of instructions, speak to a subject, edit written piece. So small things. Ultimately, it's going to be talking about all the different aspects of it, right? So then McKenzie theory, we talked about it yesterday. Riaz theory, realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. Then uska detail tha, I was just talking about it, right? So it is the further details of it. So this report is all. Then career suggestion, automatic career suggestion. Then based on multiple intelligences, like, what could be the career suggestion? And then you have the ways to improve. If you want to improve upon a specific multiple intelligence, so this is the thing. So this is the report, sweet and simple and short, 18-page report is there for the this thing. So this is what is the report for psychometric and the MIT. And this is the training dashboard as I shared with you. Okay. So any questions anybody has got it, that would be good to answer. अभी हमारा और है, but यहाँ पे मैं आपसे I think I can just अगर कोई भी क्वेश्चन है आप पूछ सकते हैं. अंकुर पूछिए आप.
Sir, just wanted to know.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Going to choose a career.
Your voice is going not
because I'm
audible.
into HR profession. I've seen people.
Can you come up again? Ankur, yeah, your voice was breaking.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
I was saying, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we talk about career counseling, we usually talk about the students who are going to opt a particular career.
Correct.
But being into HR, I have seen there people who are taking another option in a mid career also. So
Correct.
should we use this tool for that mid career decisions also? And
Exactly.
sometimes they cannot change the career, right? Or there is no point of view for changing the career. In the same
Correct.
career they want to excel. Can
Exactly.
we use this tool for that also?
Absolutely. So what happens is sometimes you're into the wrong department. See, sometimes like what has happened, you already studied a lot, and like you have actually like reached the system where like you have completely like you feel that like this career has been decided. For example, you become a computer engineer and you've gone a long way. Now, I mean, getting into some other field will be a little tough for that matter. But yeah, some people, what happens is I've seen that the people who have applied that, they are able to change the department, and sometimes by changing a department, maybe you may not be so strong in coding, but at the same time you are a great spokesperson, your oratory skills are good. Now in technical selling, if you get into it, perhaps you start performing better. Or if you've got that leadership style, like perhaps you can be switched over to the admin, and perhaps there you can start performing better. So these kind of switches, it definitely helps you into.
And so one more question. All these reports like psychometric, other than relationship compatibility, can we fetch all the reports like psychometric report, other reports also just by one-time application of the tool for one person?
I couldn't follow properly. What you're saying is ki I couldn't really follow properly.
So yeah, my question was that suppose someone comes to me for a holistic counseling. The person is into a mid-career or any adult you say who has already opted a particular stream or a particular job. He has come just sometimes people are having that kind of emptiness. Everything is fine, but still they have some emptiness. They want to get some counseling. So
Hmm.
just by one application, one time, can we fetch all
Yes,
these?
yes. Yes. See, I tell you what, if you really look at it, the whole application is based on one theory that is called the like multiple intelligence theory. And the logic of a multiple intelligence is with the brain. You know, we have 8 parts, and like, you know, that's connected with multiple intelligence. So which are the strengths? So that is what it is. So that's the base. Otherwise, there are hundreds of stream and hundreds of this thing. So ultimately, what happened that one single application, how can it be used for? I mean, even the question comes in that, you know, are there different in question like psychometric? It's a question-based test, and DMIT, it's a
Correct.
fingerprint science, right? In psychometric, there are 8 intelligence and there are 80 questions. So 10 questions are related to the each intelligence. And the answers that a child will have to give or anybody will participant will have to give it is like 1, 2, 3, 4, which is least agree to strongly agree. So which means, for example, if I have to test your like musical ability, so I'll ask you the question, Kyle, do you play a musical instrument? So if you play an excellent musical instrument, let's say keyboard or a guitar, you'll say 4. If you're learning right, you might say 3. If you don't have an interest, you might say even 1 for that matter. So that's the way you answer that, right? So now what is happening is ki like that whatever the answers that you're writing. So what is software doing? Software is primarily just like putting the data together, calculating the total number, because 4 is the highest rating, 80 questions, so 8 4s are 32. 320 could be the maximum score. And 10 questions is asked related to intra, 10 are related to inter, 10 are related to naturalist, 10 are related to language. So all these questions, so basis which it tells you this is your most dominant, this is the second most dominant. The questions answers are being given by the child. What the software has done is it has done the algorithm. Now, when it is based on that, it signifies that what is your brain, and it has mapped your brain. So what will happen? Anything for that matter that you want to select. For example, if the person is not performing good in this department, you want to put him into the other department. You need to understand that for this particular role, what are the kind of aptitude that you require. So basis that role, the aptitude that you require, that is mapped with the multiple intelligences and the aptitude that the child has got it. If it is there, then you select and you put the person into that. If not, then it doesn't work. So therefore, one single thing, because the foundation is multiple intelligence, based on that, there are multiple things, and any career options and any HR things can really be worked out.
Okay. So just wanted to know if there is a home baker or chef, you say, like in what kind of intelligence they should have. I mean, I could not fit them in any of these categories as well.
See, honestly speaking, depends on like, you know, examples. Like, for example, homemakers will have to be
No, no, it's home, not homemaker, it's home baker or chef. Just wanted
home
to home bakers. I mean chefs.
chefs you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
सो शेफ के लिए आपको क्या चाहिए? शेफ के लिए जो सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग आपको जो होता है, दैट इज लाइक, यू नो, आई मीन शेफ हैज टू रियली मेक अ लाइक गुड दिस थिंग, राइट? सो पहली चीज जो होती है, that the first thing that you require is the chef will require a very fine motor skill, because when he's chopping, when he's putting the things together, that is one thing. Second is called the observation. That is the naturalist intelligence. The
Right.
naturalist intelligence has to be very good, because if you have that, your observation is very strong, because it's an experimentation to create a good dish or maybe innovate a dish for that matter. So a chef always, you know, is observant about, like, you know, what is being mixed and what is being used, and accordingly what's been the customer reaction, and basis which he keeps the other changes, right? So observation is definitely one part of it. And second is the knowledge part of it. One has to be really logical, because while you're mixing two things, logical doesn't always come in tech. It also comes in these areas, the reasoning part of it. You need to understand what are the two elements to be mixed to give you a, like, you know, some different type of taste. So I think these are certain things, like maybe could be a little bit of logical, and second could be, you know, like related to this fine motor skill, because you have to be really good at, you know, you're using your hands a lot. And third thing, fine motor skill, not even gross motor skill, fine motor skill. And third
Thank
thing
you
that
so
you're
much, sir.
talking about is, yeah, okay,
Thank you, sir.
welcome. Yeah, hi, Shreya.
Hi, I wanted to know a little bit about how the software works. So once the fingerprints are given by the students or whoever, uh, I'm assuming the software is built in such a way that it will analyze and give us data in terms of number. Is that right?
Okay, no, really no. So there are two things of it. See, when you talk about psychometric, I told you it is just a 2-minute job. Once there's a questionnaire which is sent to the customer, he's filled in, send it back to you. You just copy paste, and 2 minutes the report is generated. All the softwares are made in Excel macro, right? It's simple softwares. Now coming to how the software works, it's three. When you talk about DMIT, it's three ways, three steps to it. The first thing is called the taking fingerprint. Now, taking fingerprint can happen two ways. One is it can be taken by by a biometric scanner, which generally captures the fingerprint, and you have to physically be present over there to take a fingerprint of a child. So for 10 fingers, for every finger you take a 3 print. So it's 30 prints are being captured. So that happens. There's a software which is there into your laptop. So that happens through that. So ultimately, that is one way. Second way is you can even now, once you join in, I would be able to teach you the technique of online taking fingerprint, how you can take a fingerprint online. Over there's a technique where, without the physical presence of the person, you can still take a fingerprint without using even the scanner. These days, I'm suggesting not to take a scanner and invest that 4,500, save that 4,500 rupees, at least to begin with, and you can start doing it online, So these are the two things. So step number one is to take the fingerprint. Either you take it online or you take it through a biometric scanner. Now, once the fingerprints come, your job is to primarily identify that, what is the type of fingerprint. The fingerprints can be of 20 different types. So there's a code for 20 different codes are there. So you have to just identify the code. Initially, it might take time because you are new to the system, but eventually after generating 4 to 5 reports, you'll be very comfortable. Within 5 to 6 minutes, you're able to identify for all the 10 fingers that what are the codes of that and what are the rich count. Once you understand that, so you have a code and the rich count, that data, you have written it, and this you put it into the software, and the software automatically generates 69-page report. So the only manual job that you have to do is to identify the fingerprint pattern, which in this whole world, there's no software which can be done. Rich counting can be done through a software which we provide you so that it becomes easy for you. It's only identifying the type, that is the classification of it, is to be done manually. Rest everything happens automatic. So it's a 3-step process. First, taking fingerprint. Second, manually identifying the type of fingerprint and counting ridges through a software. And third, it is putting into that data, the personal data and this particular codes, which is just a 2-minute job, and the report is generated. And thereafter, only thing left is the counseling on the Zoom platform.
So, in the report you had shown in the career options bit. So that is also, I'm assuming, done by the software itself.
Everything. Yeah. Manually, nothing has to be done in that.
So then, how does it get updated? Like, considering that the careers keep.
Careers don't get updated. It is, if at all, new, because there's no end to career updates, and to be very frank.
Yeah, exactly.
So softwares does give you multiple intelligence is the base. If the new career comes in, you'll have to evaluate that and suggest the person and map it accordingly. The kind of an aptitude that's required. That's the only way to do it today.
So if I understand correctly, what you're saying is that in that counselor's remarks, we can add on these things.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. That's when the main journey starts, and that's the roadmap that you have to create. Rest, everything is coming to the report and even saying, but creating the roadmap is the right thing. Next 3 months, these are the things that you have to do. So it's like prescribing that. So that's the main thing that as a counselor, you'll have to perform.
Okay. And one last question about the psychometric test. Since these people would be answering questions on their own, isn't it very subjective to the perception that they have about themselves?
See, it's not about the subjective to the perception. It's not about the perception. It's about the facts, honestly. The questions which are based are basically only talking about the facts, either yes or no, right? And what level for that matter. As I gave you an example, if you play a musical instrument, it is not a perception. It is either you play or you don't play. Unless, you write on futuristic, I'm planning to learn, so I'll write 4, then it is going to give you a wrong report, actually. Right?
Didn't you say we rate it between 1 to 5 and
1 to 4? Yeah.
1 to 4. So isn't that the perception about yourself that you carry?
So that's what I'm saying. The kind of a question which are there is not a perception, cannot be a perception. See, the questions are such that, yeah, it is only talking about facts. For example, if I ask you ki fine, have you been to the orator? Have you been the RJ, or have you been like into debates? Like how actively were you in debates into your school time or college time, right? So a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 means you have never participated. 4 means you were very good at it. Now there's nothing called perception. It's your something which has happened. So basis the facts you have to write each 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you're just participated, yeah, that's the way it will be.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to it. We will have further more rounds for the question and answer. So I just broke in between to give you a little more idea. Yeah. So okay. So just allow me to share a screen. Just a moment, please. All right, so all right, so I'm sure now you can see the reports and okay. So let's get back. Price of psychometric, I would be just talking about it. I think there are quite a things that I'm still be talking. Other languages, Manoj, as of now, we don't have a report. It's only in English, to be very frank. Shreya, a summary report available in 10 basic page report. Yeah, Ramakrishna ji, it is available. Deepti, I'll understand that differently. Maybe after this, you can give me a question. Otherwise, I will not understand on this platform. Yeah, thank you so much, Anurag, for the concern. Okay, so let me start now.
No, in fact, you were coughing continuously. That's why I asked.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for the concern. It's really sweet of you.
It's okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so let's get, so we have already seen the report. We have already seen how the training is going to be imparted for that matter. Charges, somebody was asking. So here are the charges. This is the practical charges in A grade cities. When you talk in terms of A grade cities, the charges are 5,000 and the charges are 3,000. 5,000 rupees for the DMIT and psychometric. Generally, people charge 3,000, people charge 4,000, people charge even 2,000. That depends on the level of confidence that you have it. But psychometric is generally done completely online and it takes a lesser time to do psychometric. DMIT has got a lot of elements to discuss. Psychometric ideal counseling doesn't go beyond 45 minutes. For DMIT, the counseling will go from 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes. And for which, there's more work because you have to take a fingerprint, you have to generate report and then do the counseling, which is quite large. So DMIT is always being charged more. In fact, 5,000 is the minimal charge. There are people who are charging 8,000. Even there are people who are charging 12,000. But I suggest start with 5,000 rupees. Don't go lesser than that. I mean, even if you have to go lesser than that, then minimum is 4,000. In B grade cities, you can charge 4,000. I mean, you can start it like, but perspective is like, you know, who buys, who doesn't buy. We'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, this is what you can charge from the people, and the people will pay you. Okay. And everybody cannot be a customer. So let's talk about it. But let me share my ultimate secret that how I used to charge in rupees 8,000 per counseling. So this is the secret that I'm sharing with you. So first, let's understand with an example. For example, when you talk about the consultation fee of a general physician, it's about 500 rupees. But if you become a specialist, if you're a heart specialist, the heart specialist would minimal charge 1,500 rupees, isn't it? So the whole idea is that there's something, a concept called red ocean and blue ocean. Red ocean is where there's a product for which there's a lot of demand and there are a lot of suppliers also. For example, if you have to buy a iPhone, or if you have to buy a, like, you know, example, any of the one Samsung phone for that matter. Now there are quite a number of vendors who are there in the market nearby to you, and you might just go and ask them. You have selected the model, and now the only thing that you have to talk about is the price. So you check with the different vendors, and they quote you the price, and somebody says, I'll give you a free screen guard and this and that and all this stuff, and they try to give you their best value to you, and whichever the value that best suits you, you buy the product from there, right? That's wherein. So ultimately in the process, what is happening is the product remains the same. It's only different vendors are basically shrinking their margins to primarily acquire the customer. That is what exactly is happening. They're shrinking the margin to acquire the customer. But when you shrink the margin, ultimately your margins are very less now. You have a cost for the, you know, like for the shop, you have a cost for the employees. At the end of it, you know, there are chances that you may survive or you may not survive, or you have to really create a volumes. And there's no stoppage. Anybody can open the shop next to you, and perhaps, you know, like they can give you a great competition. So the whole idea is that in the red ocean, the good thing is that there's a demand. The bad thing is there are a lot of people who are supplying the same thing. So if you are out of them, then ultimately you will shrink the margin. I mean, the margin will be shrink, and ultimately you will be out of the industry. And that's what exactly I've seen in my past. Like, you know, there were people, when we used to sell midbrain activation for per child, we used to charge 14,000 rupees. There were players who were charging 7,000 rupees. But within 3 to 4 months, I found that there was new such players who were coming. But generally, these people were actually like moving off, because charging less does not ever mean you'll get more volumes. It never means that. Charging less is only your underconfidence. You need to actually have the right price for the right product. If you don't have the right price for the right product, if you overprice or underprice, in both the cases, you're going to be this thing. So ultimately, if you want to have the like monopoly, so blue ocean is something called the, it is called the, that is called like, you know, where you say, the blue ocean is like a monopoly product, right? जैसे हमारा वो आया था ना, कोविड का वैक्सीन था. So कोविड के वैक्सीन में क्या हुआ था? What happened was there were only 2 companies, then later 3 companies, but only 1 company who was selling the vaccines to the maximum, right? That was the only thing which was available COVID में. So ultimately, like they had a monopoly. So there was no challenge for that matter. That's a different story. We were getting it complimentary, free, or like, you know, for a very less amount of price. But yeah, I mean, this is what it is. So ultimately, if you really look at it, you need to be operating into the blue ocean. But there's nothing called blue ocean as a standalone thing. Blue ocean has to be created within the red ocean, which means you have to create your monopoly by differentiating yourself and creating higher USP and giving more value to the customer, which no one else is giving, so that the people start moving to you in spite of the fact that there's so many other people giving the similar services to the people. So this is called the strategy. I'm a great fan of this strategy. And this is the in thing today. People have been taking 5 days training and charging in, you know, like lakhs of rupees for these kind of a training. And idea is that it's a simple term. अगर हम इसको समझते हैं, तो we just need to understand that we need to create a monopoly. We need to have some differentiating factor from the other players, which is something which the people can understand that and they can value that differentiating factor. Now coming to so thousands of career counselors and thousands of DMIT counselors, जो हमको लगता है, हालांकि to my mind, you will never come across a post onto the social media which will say ki fine, or like on the Facebook that fine, go for a career counseling and go for a DMIT counseling, right? Generally, you're not seeing that many posts. Have you seen that somebody is promoting DMIT onto Instagram or this thing? I mean, the paid campaign, the sponsor ad. Normally not, and that's what the opportunity for you is. So hybrid counseling mein what happens is only as of now, like hybrid counseling mein it's either me or the people to whom I've taught and they're doing it. So these are the only people who are there right now. Okay. Now this is something that I would really wish that you can adopt. So what is hybrid counseling? What do I explain to my clients is the hybrid model of counseling is important. And what is that? See, what I've done is एक तो psychometric है, DMIT है, right? First, let's understand the difference between psychometric and DMIT. Then I'll tell you what is good in DMIT and what is good in psychometric, and then how we can merge both the reports and create a beautiful report which is not there in the industry today. So, पहले हम बात करते हैं psychometric की. Psychometric, it is about the acquired domain. Now let's understand this very clearly. Psychometric is all about the acquired domain, and DMIT is all about the innate potential. For example, when you are born, when we all are born, that point of time, see, a fingerprint never changes. So whatever the fingerprints that we had during the time when we were kids, I mean, that will remain the same. So DMIT report has to be done once. DMIT report will not change at all, but it will only and only give us the information about when you were born. Thereafter, what will happen is when we talk about 8 multiple intelligences, depending on to the kind of a depending on to the the kind of an environment that you are born in. For example, like I'm born and brought up in Delhi, and that's wherein like all my, because I'm born to a father who was in BHEL, and like he's an engineer. So, and all the people like BHEL ki colony thi type, so everybody, all the parents were like engineers, so they always wanted that the son should be engineer. So all the kids were of my age group, and everybody was taking science. Taking an arts was considered to be a crime, So I came and I was born in bottom, and everybody was preparing for an IIT. So when you're born in that kind of a thing, like thinking of becoming a singer is like considered to be a crime. Becoming a cricketer is considered to be a crime. Becoming a an orator or a trainer is supposed to be a crime. I mean, that's the kind of a thing. I mean, I'm sure that's a very common scenario. I'm just trying to give you an idea that the scenario was such. So ultimately what happens is, I mean, you don't even question. What happens is you automatically take science, you start studying, you have to get A grades, all that stuff starts happening, right? And this was the scenario at my end also. So ultimately, but there are a lot of things that you acquire which you may not be born at. I was, let's say, born at to be a musician or to be a singer, but then because I did not practice that, and brain ka jo ek formula hai, use it or you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. For example, God has given you a strong logical ability, but if you don't use it, you lose it. If you are using the kinesthetic ability and you are dancing and you're putting your energy into dancing and stuff, the neuron connections over there will build up, and that will become your strong portion, and this will become, though it was at the birth, it was a strong connection, but it will become weaker. It doesn't drastically happen, but to a certain extent, it starts changing. Whatever is the natural stuff. So idea is, while you do the counseling for stream selection, counseling from profession, DMIT is not the right tool. It is always the psychometric test. Psychometric test ke basis pe you can actually help them to select the stream. You can help them to select the profession, right? That is what it is. So it is because psychometric test captures, when you take a psychometric test, it will give you the report of that time. It doesn't give you a report of when you were born. So therefore, while you have to take a decision about stream selection and career, the ones that you've acquired, those domains cannot be excluded. This has to be considered. And the best part is when you merge both the reports, whatever the common multiple intelligences are there, if you build your career into that, that's going to take you to places, right? That's what it is. More relevant for career counseling, psychometric, as I already explained you, more relevant to self-discovery. I mean, DMIT is basically for nurturing a child. It's a tool to create a roadmap for a parenting. To my mind, that is what it is. Caters to 8 years plus. Psychometric can only be done for 8 years plus. DMIT can technically be done for 1 year plus, but you should do it for 5 year plus. More accurate at higher age group. Obviously, as I told you, psychometric, because for आपको higher, it will be accurate at any point of time, but yeah, I mean, career distance should be taken by that, and it is more accurate at younger age group, because jitna distance hoga, for example, if you have 15 years, you have 50 years, you have 60 years, so the amount of time you have spent on this earth and you have acquired the other skills, तो वो उसका जो वो होता है ना, people say कि fine, how accurate is the report? That's a very common question. And people blindly say it's 95% and they believe it's 95%. Somebody says 97%. Now, what is the parameter? What is the way to evaluate? There's no way to evaluate. It is just the perception that it is 97%, it is 95%. But the fact of the matter is, if the child is younger, it is more accurate. If the child is, or if no, it's not a child, if it's you are 40 years, 80 years, 70 years, 50 years, then definitely the accuracy of the report goes a little. I'm talking about a DMIT. Psychometric will be perfect, but DMIT का accuracy level आपका कम हो जाएगा. So it is best suited for 4 to 14 years, 15 years. उसके बाद career के लिए अगर करना है तो I suggest then you should go for you should do psychometric. But if you want to do it for raising a child, then it should be DMIT. But DMIT can be done for you, me, anybody, and it gives a great value to you. It will give you a complete different perspective about yourself. It's like a self-discovery tool, right? More accurate ho gaya. It's question-based test, psychometric, it's a fingerprint science. It can be done online now. Even DMIT can be done online. No additional tools are required. Isme biometric scanner, that is optional now. It costs about 4,500 if you want to buy. Results will change almost every year. Psychometric will change every year. Results will remain the same throughout. Best suits for 10 year plus and best suits for 4 to 14. So this is the basic difference, right? Now, having said that, psychometric के लिए जो best है, multiple intelligence, RIAS theory and career selection. इसके लिए best है. DMIT is good for preferred learning style, brain dominance, multiple intelligence, obviously, quotients, personality type, thought process, all the other things, DMIT is good. So you can also do one thing, na? If you want to charge high and if you want to be different from the market, you do psychometric and DMIT together, club both the reports and उसकी एक अपनी एक report बना सकते हैं. You can create your own report. थोड़ी सी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. You'll have to work on that. But इसमें क्या है कि you have taken the best out of both the things and then you are counseling. That's wherein if you say that fine, if a person says I'm only doing DMIT, or a person says I'm only doing psychometric, you are saying I'm using both the sciences together to give you a best understanding about what your child should do. The common multiple intelligences are the ones that you can consider and can create it, right? But this is only possible if you would have done at least 20 reports for DMIT and 20 reports for psychometric independently. Thereafter, you would have that idea how to do it. Till then, it's no completely. You should not do it. You should not even attempt it. You should first master standalone as a this thing, then thereafter you could merge this one. But that's one thing which is going to be coming in. So obviously, if you have this, then you're into the blue ocean, isn't it? So that's what exactly it is. And today, when we are talking about it, psychometric report, like, generally you can charge 3,000 rupees, and for DMIT, you can charge about 7,000 rupees, correct? Now, having said that, what is the earning potential? The earning potential is 2 counseling per day. Now, the people who are taking it full time, I'm talking about them. They can have 2 counselings being done per day, correct? They have to do 2 counselings per day, okay? And if you do 2 counselings per day, you can do 25 working days. It's like you can have about 50 counselings being done in a month. And if you are charging 5,000 rupees, it is like about revenue of 2,50,000 rupees that you can actually generate through this. Digital marketing expenses इसमें होंगे करीब 30,000. So total revenue that you can generate is 2,20,000 rupees. Now, this is something which you are not able to understand right now. How would it happen? Is it easy to sell 2 products, 2 counseling report, that too for 5,000 rupees? Easy hai kya? So I'm only considering 10% conversion. If you have 500 people, interested people, data for a month, you have to just work on that 500 people's data. 10% gets converted, which is 50, and 50 people will give you that 5,000 rupees, and 2,50,000 rupees revenue can be generated. If you want to just do, and this will take about 6.5 hours, 6 hours per day for you. The complete thing, everything together, will consume you 6 hours into 25 working days. That will give you a revenue of 2,50,000. But then, if you say you want to do just one report a day and you want to invest 3 hours per day, then the revenue will be 1,25,000. It's that simple, right? If you further want to reduce that, fine, I want to do one report in 2 days, then the revenue will be further lesser than that. Like, it's like 1.25 ka bhi half ho jayega. So it's like that, So ultimately, now let's talk about the next thing. As a full timer, you definitely have a capacity, and there's a roadmap that I'm going to give it to you. It's the practical income. You can have it about 2,50,000 rupees. And as a weekender, अगर आप सिर्फ एक पार्ट टाइमर, यू ऑलरेडी टू द जॉब एंड यू आर जस्ट डूइंग 3 रिपोर्ट्स पर वीक, आपने सैटरडे को 1 रिपोर्ट कर ली, संडे को 2 रिपोर्ट्स, यू डन इट. So maybe monthly 12 reports if you are doing it, and 5,000 you are charging. So it's about a 60,000 rupees you are generated even as a part timer, right? So first thing is, like, sometimes you are not able to believe and understand. It's not important to really understand कि वो 2,50,000 होता है या 1,50,000 होता है. But for a moment, whatever the figure that you have it and you want to make it out of it, it can be 3 lakh, 4 lakh, or it could be 1,50,000 also. That's okay. I want you to do a small exercise now, right? And this is going to be something very valuable for me. This is something I'm going to do a goal installation frequency, the goal of whatever that you have taught. If you can think of 2.5 lakh rupees, you can think of it. If you can think of doing a counseling and create an image where in front of you you are doing a mass counseling, and it's a big stadium where there are thousands and thousands of people who are sitting there, and you have been talking about how the counseling impact, you're addressing the people, the crowd, they are welcoming and they are understanding, they're feeling good about it, the knowledge that you're sharing. You can create that kind of an image into your mind as well. You can create an image of into your mind where you're counseling a student and the parents are sitting aside, and parents are feeling so good. Wow, I mean, that's something which is a discovery. All the positive things that you want to think of, all the positive things what you have thought of so far, what you have dreamt of so far, is something that I want to while this session happens, I want those images. You should try to live that, right? So I am going to, but for this, what you'll require is you require a earphone, you require a headphone, you require a place where for next 15 to 20 minutes, nobody is going to disturb you at all. There's no noise other than that, right? If you want a time, I'm giving you a break of 1 minute. Just go and just get get ready. You want to drink water, drink water, and within 1 minute's time, just, if you don't have an earphone right now or a headphone, just get it and make yourself, place yourself somewhere which is a very comfortable place, and put yourself into a very comfortable position, right? So just do that. I'm giving you 1 minute's time, and then we'll get started. And once you have done it, just write onto the chat window, done. So I know that you are ready, right? If I get 70% people's readiness, I'll start this, okay? And this is a special frequency of a music, which is a frequency, and that frequency creates a neuron pathways and does the goal setting. So don't consider this as one of the normal things that I'm going to play for you, but it is something which is going to create and install goals, and the frequency is going to do that wonder. So let's start. So I'm giving you about 1 minute. Yeah, just a couple of seconds, and I'm just do that. I mean, within some time we're going to be starting this. Confirm me, were you able to hear the sound which I just played for a couple of seconds?
Yeah. Yes, Rajan.
Thank you so much for confirming.
Hi, this is Rajul Srivastav. Do you know what is the difference between the successful person and an average person? Successful people have strong vision and they have the clarity of what they want. They set the goals and work till the time they achieve them. To be successful, you have to understand the importance of goals and incorporate them in your life. For a moment, think of a life without a purpose. A person without a goal wastes life. The clear goal keeps us focused and makes our life meaningful. In this world, everything is manifested in a mind and then manifested in reality. Without visualization in mind, it's impossible to create anything in reality. When we set our goals, we already have manifested a reality in our mind. By doing so, you send the vibrations to the universe to manifest your dreams into reality. Goal setting makes you responsible, keeps you focused, and you achieve greater heights. Your goals help you stretch your limits and achieve the highest potential in you. Important announcement: don't listen to this audio while driving a car, while cooking, or while working on machine. Because while you listen to this audio, you may feel sleepy. In this album of mind programming, we send you divine vibrations to balance your energy. It will balance your left and right brain, make your 5 senses super powerful, and will activate your midbrain. Don't be surprised if you develop a strong intuitive power. Intention is to make you honest, strong, determined, powerful, spiritual, successful, and contented. Keeping these principles in mind, let's use this program to achieve the change and we desire and reach our highest potential and be successful. Chances are that while you listen to this album, you may fall asleep and may not be in a position to hear and remember what's been spoken. But your subconscious mind will capture everything, remember, and will start bringing desired changes. For complete benefit, you must listen to the audio at least once in a day for at least 15 days in a stretch. Come, let's bring the change in our lives by listening to this audio file. While closing your eyes, start relaxing. Relax, relax. Relax. Take few deep breaths. Inhale from the nose. And exhale from the mouth. Deep inside, you are in peace. Take a deep breath and relax completely. Feeling good. Feeling very good. Keep a thought in your mind. Only one thought in your mind. Only one thought. To bring desired changes in you, you have to dwell deep and deep and deeper in your mind. With the power of your visualization, please find yourself in a large, beautiful garden. It's the evening time, green and soft grass in a large garden. There are curved tracks leading to the center of the garden. On both the sides of the track are the beautiful flowers. Colorful flowers spreading scent. Far away are the trees dancing on the wind, spreading cold waves. Honeybees are sucking nectar from the flower. Birds are chirping on the trunk of the trees. Install the beauty of garden, peace and scent deep in your mind. Now's the time to move to your pious divine temple. Gradually start walking in the track in the garden. You are moving forward. You are walking forward. You can hear the sound of birds chirping all across. You can see the stairs. One stair that will take you to your pious temple. You are watching the stairs. Walk forward. Start climbing the stairs. Keep climbing stairs. Climb the stairs. You are completely secure. Keep climbing. Keep climbing. You are watching yourself marching forward and are looking up. you can see beautiful white marble temple. Stairs are leading to a beautiful garden in front of the temple. While walking through the beautiful garden, you have reached in front of the temple. You are appreciating the golden gate of the white marble divine temple. You have opened the door and entered the temple. Inside is the divine light coming from the divine place of seating. See the architecture. You are clearly able to see all that. This is your own place. To get your powers, to get your desires fulfilled, to get your faith and confidence. If you want to change anything in this, allow your visualization to create what you want. You must place a chair for yourself at this place. Sitting on this chair, you will be able to get the desired blessings. Now's the time to invite the universal energy in the temple to bless you. Light from the universe will guide me. Light is my guide. Light is my guide. Light is my guide. Visualize the white light is flowing from the sky. And is entering your body through the crown chakra, that is head. Allow the light with the divine power to enter. You are made of divine light. Each cell of your body is filled with divine light. Each level of your consciousness is enlightened by the divine light. Be one with the divine light. You are one with the light. Feel that you are filled with divine power. Now sitting in your chair in this temple, visualize I am powerful. I am powerful. I am powerful. I am lovable. I am lovable. I am lovable. Accept the divine energy sent to you. I am ready to accept the divine energy and allow it to enter each part of my body. My golden circular shining light is entering your body. Visualize your body filling with light. During the entire session, special energy vibrations will continue to enter your body. Your subconscious mind is completely open now and ready to be programmed. The divine energy is permanently taking shelter deep in your subconscious mind and will work from there. Keep complete faith in this divine light. Now visualize your clearly defined goals. What do you want to have? What do you want to become? Create clear pictures of your goals and desires. Make them bigger and brighter. I am the master of my life. Whatever good that you want to bring in your life, you visualize it daily. I am the master of my life. In your life, whatever you want, you create mental picture of it. I am the master of my life. Daily you visualize the dreams that you want to transform into reality. I am the master of my life. You create the crystal clear vision of the dreams you want to live. I am the master of my life. Everything is happening as per your wishes. On daily basis, you visualize your dreams manifesting into reality. I am the master of my life. You use all your senses to visualize your dreams clearly. I am the master of my life. The more you visualize your dreams, you walk towards your reality. The goal-setting installation of divine energy is successfully done. These installations will now automatically upgrade the system to fill positive energy and remove negative energy. These belief system and goal-setting programs are most powerful. These installations will add up power every day and will take you to the destination. Goal-setting installation will help you achieve success in every work that you will do. In this divine temple, take a deeper breath than earlier and completely get relaxed. Relax. 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 In deep meditative state, go deeper, deeper and deeper. Deep relaxation state is the right state for realization of your dreams. In your mind, you make dream into reality. Start hearing the sound of images and start feeling the images that you have installed in your mind. You have the potential from your birth. The capacity and potential to visualize images by using 5 senses brings these dreams closer to the reality and helps in relationship, career, studies and health. Your belief in this will fasten the process of realization. Now I'll count from 1 to 3. The moment I say 3, while visualizing all the potential and capabilities I've developed for setting up the goals, you'll again attain your conscious state. 1. Returning with new energy and new belief system. 2. You are getting into your conscious awareness. 3. You are completely refreshed and relaxed. Now open your eyes gently and gradually.
You guys can open your eyes. How many people slept? How many people went in trance? How many people could feel that vibration? So this is the music frequency which has been installed, and this is primarily specifically being used to set the goal. And if you listen to this energy, this music for next 15 days continuously into the room, that's, I think, quite a few people slept, right? How did you feel this session? Was it peaceful and sleepy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Rajan, this is good. This was soothing, and this was peaceful and effective, I feel.
Thank you so much. So do you want this session, do you want this to be there with you for a few days? Anybody who would like to have this and listen to the next few days to install this and make it work for you? So what I want to tell you is this is already there with you actually. This is like what I've done today is a part session. Actually, it's a complete session which is there into the bonuses which has been given to you, right? There's a music therapy folder. In that particular folder, this particular session is there. All right, so thank you so much. So this was like, where we could figure it out, and whatever the images that you had, it's being installed now. So let's come back and let's understand now is the time we need to really crack it. We need to make it. We need to actually make this as a profession. So who is your audience? Let's first understand that, right? So generally the people who are the parents, number one, anybody who is parents has to be the first aspect, right? So first thing, we need to only be speaking to the people who are parents of the age group that we are targeting, that's 5 to 18 years type. Second is like parenting mindset. Not being a parent means that you would have a parenting mindset also, but there are 10% of the people who may have a parenting mindset as well. And the people who make online purchases. Now, these three aspects are very important for you to get your customer, correct? So where do you find them? I mean, I think there are plenty of ways where you can find them, but this is, it's the complete universe, because now the psychometric and DMIT even can be done online. So I think you are not limited to the boundaries. Even if you're from the smaller town, it does not have a matter, because at the end of it, what's going to happen is you have a complete India at least to begin with, where you can actually like target. And the best part is even tomorrow, if you intend to go global, you have an opportunity to go that, because it's not related to a curriculum of any specific country. It is something which can be applied for as good as like a person in USA or a person in UAE or a Singapore or in our own country. So it is not basically related to any kind of a curriculum. which will differ from place to place, right? So the whole globe is your market. So how do you how do you reach the customer? The reaching the customer can take place by digital marketing. That is what it is. And most importantly, in digital marketing, I would say Facebook is the best. That's the way you have reached me, isn't it? Similarly, when you actually run the campaign onto the Facebook and tell the Facebook that yeah, it has to reach the right target audience, you define the target audience, and that's wherein it reaches the right target audience, and then you get the inquiry, from those very people, like ultimately you get, and then you add a lead form and you just ask one or two, three questions that qualifies them to be really interested people rather than just a junk data that at times could come in. So there are ways to actually do it, and that's where exactly we are going to not only give you a tutorial, but we are going to come on and this can help you set up your first campaign so that you get the quality leads, and that's not a challenge for you. Now, how much time and what is the role that you have to play and how much time does it take? So let's understand that if you're working as a full-timer, you will have to spend about 30 minutes on a daily basis onto the campaign, right? And we will be teaching you how to run a campaign, but then you will have to spend about 30 minutes on an average. Sometimes you may not have to spend a single second. Sometimes you might have to spend about 1 hour time. So that is one thing which is there. So about 30 minutes on the campaign. Second thing is, and it's not necessary that you have to do the Facebook campaigns only. This is only the recommendation that we give, because the best success and the best leads that you get it is from the Facebook, and that is the thing. Otherwise, you can go to the coaching centers nearby, or you can talk to them. You can talk to Abacus centers, you talk to hobby centers, and you can have a partnership, or you can have a commission being set with them. And on success of, they give you a platform to interact with the parents. You convert them, you execute the whole thing. And you just because they've introduced you to the parents, you give them certain cuts, and that's the way it works in. But yeah, I mean, to be in the longer, but that's something which is physically going and doing that takes a little while. So my best this thing is take is like you should go for a digital marketing, paid digital marketing, and that works pretty well, right? Now, if you spend half an hour in that, then second thing is like the data that's generated, it'll take about 130 minutes, 180 minutes actually, to basically make a call. So we are talking about something like 3 hours. 3 hours it might take to actually make 20 effective calls. It might sounds like this thing, but that's the fact of life. You might have to spend about 2.5, 3 hours to actually get 2 customers. So then for 2 customers, you'll have to generate report. So 30 minutes initially it's going to take to generate report. So 60 minutes will go there. And finally, you'll do a counseling for about 1 hour. So 1 hour into 2 counseling that you're going to do, that will take about 120. So practically, if you really look at it, it's going to be taking a time of 6.5 hours roughly, for you every day to generate a revenue of 2.5 lakhs. Now, what is the roadmap? Like, let's understand what is the kind of a roadmap that you have. The first thing that we're going to give you the products, number one. So we are going to give you the products. Products means a complete ecosystem. See, what happens in the industry is the people will give you the product, the software, and they might give you a little training. But then after the training, what next? How to market? Who's your customer? I mean, that's nothing is there. What to be spoken to the customer is not there. So unless there's a complete ecosystem which is being created, you don't easily get the success. And you don't have to experiment and reinvent the wheel because we've already done that, right? Product means softwares that I'm talking about. That's what exactly we're going to give you. Training, I've already told you, will give you an access. You instantly, the moment you pay, you get an access to the lifetime training in that. Then thereafter, it comes in like the certification part of it will certify you as a career coach and DMIT counselor. Will give you a business, will help you to with a business setup, that what is the business setup that you have to do? Like what is the first thing, what is the second thing, what is the third thing? Like creating a domain name, thinking of a domain name, then booking your domain name, where to book your domain name, how much would it cost? Generally, it costs about 600, 700 rupees for a year. If you want to take a hosting and you want to take a email also, it might cost you about a package of 3,500 rupees, right? So this knowledge you need to have. And then if you want to go for a website initially, if you don't want to go for a website, it's all right. You can just do it on the phase manner also. Then ultimately to create a Facebook campaign, you require a copy, you require images. Initial ones we are going to give you so that you don't have to really be worrying about all that stuff. You concentrate into your learning, you concentrate onto the business, and these things are being already supplied by us to you, right? And then comes in the script, what is to be spoken to the customer when the inquiry comes in. So all that stuff, if you really talk about it, we've already given this to more than 2,000 people, and now's I think your turn. So let's understand
Hi,
what people say about it.
I have been associated with Mr. Rajul Srivastava for quite a long time, and recently I took his course of Mind Priest, which encompasses students' empowerment programs, memory techniques, speed reading, which helps students to empower themselves, become very good. Psychometric analysis test is so awesome, which I have tried on so many people. It is so accurate, and his courses are so good, and he as a mentor is fantastic. Anytime you ask him for any kind of advice, he is ready to give it, and he solved quite a few problems for me, and whenever I had any doubts, he cleared it. I think his course is, I think, one of the best that I have taken from among so many courses that I have taken. Rajul Srivastava is doing a fantastic job, and I'm sure everybody is going to benefit a lot from it. And I thank you, Mr. Rajul Srivastava, for all your kind mentorship. Many more people to be influenced. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Now's the time. I think it's your turn. How many people are really wanting to do it now? How many people feel excited? Forget about what the part of what the commercials are gonna be, but apart from the commercials, how many people feel, yeah, this is something that I'm excited to do? If you are, just quickly write down excited into the chat window. Let me see how many people are really very interested to do this and impact the lives of the people and make money. Great. I'm so happy that the number of people who are just writing down. Gaurav, Beena, Anurag, thank you, Gaurav, Daya, Ankur, Majid Bau, it's your passion. That's really nice. Ramakrishna, Payal. Thank you so much. I think everybody, and thanks for everybody who's writing it down. Great. So I think, this is the time that we need to actually taking it forward, unless we change anything, nothing is going to change. So why choose us? I mean, the question is it's a plug and play opportunity. We are not giving you software. We are giving you business opportunity with my mentorship. White collar software with your own brand. So no sharing of this thing. Dashboard with lifetime access. Your earning starts from month 1 genuinely. Lifetime support and one-time investment and no revenue share. These are the reasons. Okay, what are you going to get? Psychometric and DMIT bundle. That's what exactly you are going to get. Okay, psychometric and DMIT bundle. So first of all, you are going to get the lifetime software for psychometric, number 1 software. Number 2, DMIT lifetime software, which I've already shared with you. Number 3, DMIT HR software, DMIT compatibility software, and DMIT basic software. These 5 report generation softwares that you are going to get. Okay. DMIT rich counting software that will help you to count the ridges is also that we're going to give it to you. Plus, if you buy a biometric scanner, then there's a DMIT fingerprint scanning software you would require. And that's also that we are going to give it to you. So these 7 softwares are going to come to you. Dashboard, career coaching and DMIT, and certification as a career coach and DMIT counselor. This is something you are going to get that, right? Now, as a bonus, we are going to give you a sales campaign creatives, campaign copy, and sales script, which I just talked about. That's what exactly is the bonus that's going to come to you. Training, I've already given you how the training is going to happen. So that you've already seen it. So it's going to be a lifetime access. And we are available all the time. I mean, definitely during the day, 10 to 6 type, any point of time that you want any kind of this thing, that's when we are there. And obviously we are going to certify you. And then most important to my mind is the mentoring. And mentoring, I believe in not a very indirect type of thing. It is something where I believe that you can have a direct access to me rather than, like going through all these subordinates and employees where, there's a lot of channels which are created. So this is one thing that I truly believe in. So mentor has to be something who shall be accessible is what I believe. So that's where, is a USP also. Questions I've already asked you, but yeah, before, we go for any kind of a questions and all this stuff. After you book, what next? On making a payment instantly, you receive a payment receipt and an access to the complete training on the app. You can start your journey, like instantly. Latest by tomorrow, you'll receive a welcome mail and a complete software. In fact, we'll deliver the software most likely today within 2 to 3 hours of the time, once you've signed up, right? That is what is going to happen. But before I really talk about it, yeah, a wise man makes his own decision. Decision making is important, and many of an instances, we like everything, we hesitate to take a decision. So for those people who feel that decision making becomes weaker, for them, a couple of things one of my best quotes that I like: a wise man makes his own decision, an ignorant man follows public opinion. Whenever you see a successful business, someone once must have made a courageous decision, right? It is in your own moments of decision that your destiny is safe, Tony Robbins. And sometimes you make the right decision, sometimes you make the decision right. Even if you made the wrong decision, you work towards to make the decision right. And I think we all would have done it at one point. And most important, not making a decision is actually a decision. It's the decision to stay the same. So these are decision-making things that I feel.
Hello friends, I'm Karthik. I'm a banker by profession. And I was introduced to this concept of entrepreneurship, not by me, but by my wife. She was the one who started off on this whole journey because she is a QMath teacher, and she said this is something which is gelling well with what she is doing. So I started evaluating it, and trust me, I was not initially so very happy about it. In fact, I openly told this to Rajul Srivatsava, and he said, don't worry about it. Only today you have bought it. Don't worry about it. You attend the first session, but prior to that, just a request, you go through the first 4 days of the sessions, and then you come to the session. So we had 2 days time. By then I had done all the initial homework which she had given me. As I did that, trust me, it was giving me the kind of hope and confidence that I wanted to get. And when I attended the first session, I had a few doubts and clarifications, which Rajul gladly clarified. And the best part about the first 4 days was every place he was putting the entire session from our point of view. It was not like a session, like lecture where we have to take. It was from our point of view, wherein we move from an employee to an employer mindset. That was clearly taken care of. And every session had some takeaway in the sense how we start imparting it to other people. That angle was also covered. And by the end of 30 days, we had covered not only the core of what we will be taking up as a business, but every aspect of business that was needed, it was there. In the sense, starting from creation of your logo, company naming, domain creation, how we can host it in Bluehost, and your lead creation, how you can do the call, scripting, your Facebook ads that we needed. Everything was taken care of, including the way you start off on the first day. So end to end, it is all a complete handholding. I had lots of doubts in between, and Rajul was gladly ready to support any point in time. This 30 days, it's all just 30 days. Ardently put in the effort that is required. You will be taking up the plunge, and trust me, Rajul Srivatsava is there as our float until we start floating from our side, right? Until we start swimming, he is there to take care of us. Trust him and then go with it. You will definitely bang on success. There is absolutely no way this cannot be a successful entrepreneurship. Trust me, this has helped immensely from where I was a month ago to what I am now. So this is going to be an extremely successful journey. Take the plunge, and then you will see you are able to swim. Until we sit in the shore and start looking at it, it is not going to be much meaningful. You just take the plunge. As I said, you take the plunge. There is a float in the form of Rajul Srivatsava, which will guide us through until we know a full-fledged swimming. So no doubt about it. Go with it. You will be successful. All the best, friends. Thank you.
So now is the time. Let's come to the point, and that is where the people have been waiting. So let me now reveal what exactly we have there to offer, right? So we are giving you a training. We are giving you software which is worth rupees 30,000. The training, I cannot count actually. Honestly speaking, it is the best training today available in this industry. 5,000 rupees worth of his certification, 5,000 rupees worth of his sales thing, lead generation and scripting. In fact, if you really look at it, even with the minimal pricing, if you really look at it, it's a worth 50,000 rupees of the thing that we are offering you. But that's not the price today. The price is very, very special for the person who can genuinely make even 50,000 to 1 lakh, forget about 1.5, 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees. Even if you make that kind of a money, I think what is the investment is justified. So let me offer you a no-brainer offer. And this no-brainer offer is only for the period I am here. The moment the webinar is over, the price will rise not heftily, but only by 1,000 rupees. Only by 1,000 rupees, because I don't want to penalize anybody, but at the same time, I want to reward the people who are a quick decision maker, right? So I'm giving you a no-brainer offer. That is the best ever offer that can be given to anybody. And this is a price of 14,950 rupees, where you are going to get DMIT, all the softwares, core software and psychometric plus sales mastery. Everything that I talked about is something that you're going to get it, right? The total price, including the taxes and everything, is 14,950 rupees. And the total price, if you only want to have the DMIT, let's say if you already have a career counseling thing, but you only want to have the DMIT, and then the price is 11,950. You can say 12,000 rupees, okay? But if you have the DMIT already and you want to just go for the psychometric and the career counseling, then that software along with the training and everything comes for 8,950. That's the very, very humble price. I'm sure each one of you would agree with me. That's a very humble price for all the three products, which means the product is like this, that DMIT will cost you, DMIT plus psychometric will cost you 14,950. Only DMIT, if you take it, will cost you 11,950, and psychometric will cost you 8,950. My recommendation is, if you don't have, just go for both the things. I am just sharing, I've just pasted, I've just shared the link onto the link onto the chat window, and all the packages are there, and there the links, subsequent links are there. So I can only tell you, just go and get it and just be a part of this beautiful mission that we have it. And I would address to any of the queries that you may have it. You can write down to the chat window either. But yeah, so I mean, right now I would like you to write down to the chat window. But yeah, let me first cover, and then we'll start with the query. But I want you to write down the query into the chat window, and I'll take it one by one. So that is only thing that I request you. But yeah, I mean, before that, this is the price. And this another thing that I would like to tell you, that DMIT, I mean, what you're going to get, if you look at this particular slide, you are going to get psychometric, this bundle. You're going to get psychometric software, DMIT lifetime report generation software, DMIT HR software, DMIT compatibility software, DMIT basic software, DMIT rich counting software, DMIT fingerprint scanning software. 7 softwares, 5 report generation software, dashboard for the lifetime and the certification, and definitely the bonuses. As I said, you're going to get the Facebook ke liye copy and images and sales script. You're going to get it. So DMIT plus psychometric 14,950. Installment have created in that. You can choose to pay 100% also. You can choose to pay in like 15 days apart in this thing also. You can pay 9,999 now, and 4,951 rupees can be paid after 14 days, right? The only thing, the softwares that will give you after the complete this thing happens. So idea is that, some people may not have a complete money. So what you can do is you can start the journey. The moment you pay 9,999 rupees, you instantly get the training access. By the time when you're creating your brand name, you're creating your this thing, you're branding your reports and everything. So it's only the 10,000 rupees in a practically you've invested. And after once you're ready and you're ready to kind of hit the market in 15, then start making money. And that is the point of time, like you just pay another balance 4,900. So just like, you get some this thing. Even otherwise, if you pay completely, if you want to pay by credit card, you can use the credit card, you can use Paytm, you can use PhonePe, you can use any kind of this thing, NEFT, debit card, credit card, everything can be, you can make the payment through either of it, right? So I have already shared the discounted link. So, and another way is like, let's say if you don't have the money right now, what you can do, you can book an offer with just 5,000 rupees and pay balance 9,450 rupees within 3 days time. So sometime what happen instantly, we don't have that money. If you want to do that, then in that case, that's my number. That is 9599224417. You can actually do the Paytm, PhonePe, or Google Pay on this particular number, right? So I would just mention my number also, and then I'll take up the queries. So my number is 9599224417. This is only for Paytm or like Google Pay or Paytm, like anything. And maybe if at all by chance, if you're not able to like make the payment through a link for some reason, then you can also pay on this particular thing, right? So this is what it is. These trainings are going to be, yeah, I'm now responding to everybody's query. So whatever the queries has been written to the chat window, so I would request everybody to write down the queries only onto the chat window, and I'm taking one by one right away, right? And the people can start booking. If you don't have any kind of a query, just be excited and then take a decision. I think this is one of the industry standard pricing on an average, honestly speaking, for DMIT and psychometric together would be approximately 25,000 on an average. And so this whole thing is coming to you for 14,950 with my mentorship. That is all I can tell you. If it makes sense, go ahead. If no, it's completely was an honor to have you here today, right? So now I'm just shifting the slide so that you know what are you going to get it. So this is the slide that will help you to understand now. Now let me take the queries one by one. All these training both, so Majituo Bose asked me all these trainings, both online and offline. Online training in a way has happened. There's no online training. It is an offline, sorry, there's no offline training. This is an online training, and that too, these are pre-recorded sessions which are there parked into the system. There are 27 videos through which you are going to be trained, and there are 13 PDFs. And we are there available all the time to cater to. These are the way you have understood the session today. These live session has been created like that, right? So that is the thing. So even share, if you want to make a payment tomorrow, 5,000 rupees, you can pay it today as a booking amount, because this idea right now it's 14,950. The only thing is the moment I am out of the session and I end the session, I will change within the link, I'm going to change it from 14,950 to 15,950. So if you want to book it, just book it with 5,000 rupees today and make the balance payment within 3 days. Forget about tomorrow. There's no problems about it, right? Ramakrishna ji, the thumb impression machine is optional to be bought. I mean, we suggest not to buy it because there's a technique that we teach you. By that technique also, you can do it very, very comfortably, right? So don't worry about it. I don't think you require to invest that money. Even if you have to invest it after once you earn it. So I don't suggest, but if you want it, it will cost you about 4,500. Okay. Daya, can we resolve a couple who are planning to have divorce soon? Daya, I mean, I can't say that you will be able to resolve from compatibility report. You'll be able to resolve it or not. That's very subjective and it's a tall claim to do. So I'll say, but yeah, I mean, if they are open-minded, if they're ready to understand, mostly divorces happen because the responsibility is sharing and there's always a, like fight between them because it's not being said. And that to a very large extent help them. So I think it plays a very important role. It will be a great help. And if they're open-minded, it may do that as well, that you're talking about it, right? All these training both are online, offline, and already thanks you for 0 option 10 now. Yes, Ramakrishna, congratulations. I mean, the people who have made the payment, I'm getting a lot of responses for that, and I just want to congratulate them for taking a decision, because that's important. And for this price, this kind of an opportunity will not come. I can bet on that, will not come. And is the software developed by Mindpriest? Not really. It has come from Singapore. We have not developed any kind of a software. We don't have a capacity or a caliber to develop. Yeah, but we are the best in training. We are the best in implementing. And the best part is it's being used by more than 300 schools. And it's like 2000 plus people have been doing it very successfully, and they're very happy with it. So you can be very happy about it, right? Does training include for any of the softwares? Training include for even software? Yes, yes. It's a complete system, Ankur. I mean, training will happen simultaneously. Okay. Archana, how are biometric collected? That machine also included in your package? No, machine is not a part of it. Machine will cost you separately 4,500, and we don't provide. You have to buy it from the vendors. We can suggest you the vendors who give the best deal. Or otherwise in India, Mart also you get 4,500 is the best deal that we have got it so far, including GST and supply to you. Shreya, I need a day to think. That's perfectly okay. I mean, we respect this thing. So I have already shared the link, and the people who have made the payment, congratulations. It was really appreciated. And today is the time I don't want you to start the journey. Rather, I want you to actually celebrate this day, because what you're doing and what the decision that you've taken is to change the lifestyle. Nothing more, nothing less. It's like you've changed the lifestyle, right? So that is what it is. There's no name of the software. Name of the software, it's like DMIT only, it's this thing only. And every report has got the authenticity certificate also. All right. Can I register in any month when I'm ready? How much? Course is not a duration. It is primarily, it's not like number of days training and all this stuff. Course can be done any point of time that you wanted. Certification is going to be given to you within 15 days. Automatically, the certificate comes into the app you can download. So you don't have to hunt for a certificate or request for a certificate. It will automatically, it's a part of it. Within 15 days of the dashboard, we assume that you completed the training, and the certificate automatically falls and comes to you, right? All right. All right. So I think Archana is asking how the biometrics collected. That machine also, Acha, that I've already answered. I need a date. Okay, I think from my side, all the questions has been answered. Any question which has been unanswered, you can ask me right now. Biometric scanner is not included in that. 2-day certificate is not given. That's not, I mean, that's not a just, to do that. It's primarily for the knowledge, right? Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Any kind of a question? So I think the two things, that one is like, I think 14,950 is the price, 9,999 is the price. Like you can pay now, and 15 days later, 14 days later, you can pay that. The balance amount, I think it's a great deal. Get into it, because after once I keep the phone down within next, 2 minutes or 3 minutes, I'm going to change that price from 14,950 to 15,950, because I appreciate and want to really reward the people. If I can invest that number of hours, I would definitely want the people to take a decision on that and go ahead. Either way, I'm very, very comfortable. So that is the reward, nothing more than that. So therefore, I'll just raise a small price of 1,000 rupees today. And by the end of the day, I'll raise a little more price. But yeah, that's it for the people who have taken a decision. Once again, congratulations, and looking forward to have a great journey with you. And this is what it is. And I think the questions are over. Any kind of this thing, I think I want everybody to just show me their faces once again, since we are signing up, and we are over with the session. So I want that everybody should be there. And let me take a photograph once again. Let me stop my screen first. And thank you so much. I hope, irrespective of the fact whether you joined us or not joined us, I hope you enjoyed the session, right? Completely. If yes, I mean, just show me your faces, and Let me take a picture of everybody together. Yes, my dear friends, come on. I want to see everybody smile, and everybody who's available right now, I want to see their faces, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I'm just like taking a good picture. And thanks a ton for such a beautiful time. And I think, I really had a great time addressing you and looking forward to have a great journey. Thank you so much. Signing off. This is Rajul Srivastava. Take good care. Bye. Anybody has got any kind of a query after that, also you can actually like call me on my personal number, and I would be happy to respond if at all you couldn't get an opportunity to ask it there. But take a decision, that's important. Signing off. Take good care. Bye.